In this video, we are going to look at three simple things within NewsWeb Spike to help monitor the coronavirus. The first being how to create a search, the second to create an alert for that search, and then finally create a dashboard of multiple searches like we can see here. So to begin, if we want to create a search, we have two options. We can come to our home screen here and we can click New Search, or we can come over to our panel here and add a new search. Now, when we click New Search, you will be seeing everything in our database. By default, looking at web in the last 12 hours. If we want to add a keyword search, for example, coronavirus or COVID-19, we can add those. So now we'll just be looking for any mention of coronavirus on web published in the last 12 hours, but we can also, with a Boolean search, saying COVID-19. Now we're looking for both matches of coronavirus or COVID-19 in the headline or the subheadline. Now, if we want to break that down into a region or a language, we can click here and say, just show me English language content. We'll see all those changes here. Or we can say, show me a region, like United States. We could go more specific by city as well if we want. Now we're seeing everything on web that is trending at the moment. I'd recommend using predicted interactions when we're looking at the 12-hour view. This shows you the future engagement of each article. So, for example, if we want to click on one of these to get more detail, we can see the current rate of engagement and the future rate. Now, how we're measuring the performance of this web article is with social media engagement from Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest. So the likes, comments, and shares, the retweets, we're following this individual web link on its journey across social media and measuring the amount of engagement this article receives. This allows us, using predictive algorithms, to forecast into the future to see how large this story is going to become. So now we have a search created for coronavirus in English language in the US. We want to save this and call it coronavirus US. So now this is saved. If we want to return and edit this search to create anything else, more keywords, different locations, we just pop up here, click the edit button, and our search will live here in our searches. So we can add an alert to this, we can export this, but let's start with a real-time alert. So you can leave it to us and have a default option here showing when an individual article begins to trend, you can have an alert sent to your email or through Slack. Or you can set the threshold to say, I only want to be aware of stories that will go over 100,000 engagements in the next 12 hours. So we'll send you an alert even when the story is in its infancy, for example, at 10,000 engagements and only an hour old, but we'll predict in the next 12 hours, this will go over 100,000 engagements, so we'll send you a notification immediately to Slack or email. Now, if we want to digest of all these different pieces of content inside our coronavirus US search, we can schedule this to be delivered to our inbox at whatever time you want, however frequently you want. So we can save that and we'll have a digest set. We can also add another alert to this search and say, I also want a real-time alert. I'll leave that by default. So now we have two alerts for the search. And if we want to check our alerts, we can see all of the different alerts we have here. So returning to the search, now we have set up an alert for this search. We have our search set, how we want it. Now we can add this to a dashboard. So we'll click New Dashboard. And what we can do is, we're looking at web content at the moment, but we can say, I want to choose one of my saved searches, coronavirus US, add this to a dashboard, and it will quickly show you all the content from web, from Facebook, from Twitter, from Instagram for the same search. So initially, we were just looking at web content for coronavirus in English in the US, and now we've added it to a dashboard to give us the full spectrum of what's happening across different platforms. If we want to add any new widgets, we can, for example, add Twitter trends to find out what's happening on Twitter in the US, or we can add more saved searches that we might have set up in our account. So, for example, if we didn't want to only monitor mentions of coronavirus, we actually wanted to create a new search and, let's say, monitor how other brands are responding to coronavirus. What we could do is say, I want to see what Nike is doing on Twitter. I want to see what Adidas is publishing on Twitter as well. So we can actually create lists of these brands or competitors to find out what are they tweeting about. Of course, if we even want to add coronavirus as a keyword to only search for these brands and how they respond to coronavirus, we can layer on top a keyword on top of this. So coronavirus. Man, no one's actually said the word, but if we want to look for any type of mentions of this, we can. And of course, we can save this and call it brands Twitter. And now this will be another search that will live here and another search that we can add to our dashboards. If we want to come up here, choose one of our saved searches, we can add a multitude of searches or different types of views to the one dashboard. And of course, if we want to expand anything within our dashboard view, we can. And we can do all the same functionality like adding alerts, exporting inside this view as well. But for anything else that you want help with, just let us know and we'll be happy to help. Thanks.